Well, let's get more on this now with Dan Rayburn, who joins us from New York. He's the principal analyst at consulting firm Frost & Sullivan and a streaming media specialist. Welcome to Money Talks, Dan. What do you make of this report in the Financial Times that says Apple is splurging $6 billion on original content for its new streaming service? It's a far cry from the $1 billion that it announced earlier, isn't it?
It is a large number. Thanks for having me today to talk about this. So here's, I think, what people are getting hung up on is how much money Apple or Hulu or Amazon or Netflix is spending. But I think what we really have to remember here is consumers have a lot of choice, right? So Apple's going to be coming out, Disney's going to be coming out, HBO Plus is going to be coming out next year. So the amount of money that you spend to create content doesn't necessarily guarantee success because it's about the quality of the content. We have this term in the industry called content is king. So with all of these streaming services, while they're spending a lot of money, they need to figure out what consumers want to watch because they're targeting many different demographics. They're targeting younger people, older people, people who like movies, TV series, people who binge watch, who don't binge watch. So the point is there's a lot of competition in the market coming out in a market that's already extremely crowded. We don't know if the number that was put out by the Financial Times is accurate. We never know with any of these numbers, but we do know it costs a lot of money to create great content. Original content is expensive.
It sure is. Now, we're just looking at a clip of The Morning Show, which is set to be one of Apple TV Plus's big shows when it does launch. Now, when Apple announced that it was offering a new streaming service, it basically rolled out the red carpet. It announced that it had signed up Oprah, Steven Spielberg, Reese Witherspoon, Jennifer Aniston, all these big names which can't have been cheap. Do you think that will give Apple the edge over its rivals?
No, it takes more than names, right? So consumers typically want a breadth and depth of catalog. They want to know that there's a lot of different content that they can watch. They want to know what the quality is. They want to know that the content's going to be refreshed. They want to be able to binge watch it. And also you have to look at how the services actually perform from a user standpoint. What kind of behavior does it generate? So in behavior, I mean, is somebody enjoying watching it because the service is easy to work? Does it download? So it was interesting that Disney came out and said they were going to make all their content downloadable. So you could take it offline. Let's say you're on a plane, you're with your kids in the car. Very, very smart. So there's a lot we don't know about Apple's service. We don't know the price. There's been rumors, but we don't know the price. We don't know the date it comes out. We don't know how much content they're going to create or when they're going to refresh it. But what is the huge advantage Apple has here? They are a brand everybody knows globally. They have a platform. They own the hardware. They own the store. They own the iOS. They own the browser on the phone. So they have a way to get this content in front of a lot of consumers very, very quickly.
Let's talk about Disney, which you mentioned earlier. Now, it's announced that it'll be launching its streaming service in November, and Disney is in a unique position where it can offer things like ESPN, its sports channel, as well as Hulu in the streaming service that it's going to launch later this year. Is Disney the dark horse here? Because I can't imagine other rivals being able to compete with that.
Yeah, great question. You're spot on in terms of that point. So Disney has a very unique use case here because they can cross-promote their content across what? Theme parks, movies, toys, cruises. And who are they targeting? Disney is targeting a family here. So you're not going to see the type of content you see on Netflix. Think of Orange is the New Black. You know, these cutting-edge type shows you see on Netflix, you're not going to see on Disney because Disney is specifically targeting a type of viewer. So I think it's great for consumers. There's more content coming in the market and there's more choice. Now, with that choice comes confusion. And the biggest problem that we have that the media is really writing about is typically they think of these services as a replacement to one another when they're usually a complement to one another. So we had the same issue when Netflix came out with streaming. Everybody said this was going to replace cable. And then Netflix gave us statistics that said the vast majority of people with Netflix have cable TV. So I don't think it's a and or proposition here. I think you're going to have a lot of people that have Netflix, that have Amazon, that have Apple, that have Disney, and they're going to have them for different reasons. I think the big thing to watch if you're an investor is the churn that's going to happen amongst these services because these services are going to come out with a great show that you want to binge watch. You watch it. You might cancel the service for 3 months, go to Apple, cancel that, go to Disney, and then keep jumping around. Because keep in mind, the great thing about all these services is how flexible they are and the fact they have no contracts.
Yes, interesting times ahead for the streaming wars. Dan Rayburn in New York, thank you again for your time.